as name suggests, you can see from the name, pentose phosphate pathway, PPP, or hexose monophosphate shunt. So here is, you can see shunt, here is path. Both name has capacity to describe its pathway. Okay, so if you remember both, you can find out something. You can see pentose phosphate pathway. This is the such pathway where you will see pentose phosphate. Pentose phosphate means the ribose, ribulose, and xylulose. So I will tell you to pentose. If you remember the pentose sugar name, you can see ribose sugar. Ribose, when it is ribose 5-phosphate. So we have already done too much about ribose 5-phosphate. You know ribose, and then what else? Ribose, you can change ribose. Your body can easily change this ribose into ribulose. Ribulose means it is keto sugar of ribose. And then this ribulose can also be changed into another form of keto sugar, that is a xylulose. Okay, xylulose 5-phosphate. And these 3 types of sugar, you can see these 3 types of sugar you will see here first in this pathway. These 3 types of sugar you will see in this pathway. So that is why this pathway is rich in this pentose phosphate. And this pentose phosphate, you know, this ribose phosphate actually form the center part of this main part of this DNA and RNA. This sugar form the main part of DNA and RNA. In for DNA, it will be reduced. It will convert into deoxy sugar, and then deoxyribose here and RNA. Not only DNA, RNA. We have done this. CAMP is from has this ribose. We have done signaling molecule, other signaling molecule. For example, AMP controls pathway, regulatory pathway. So NAD, FAD, FAD, even in this pathway we will talk about NADP very much. So, and even NADP has this sugar, ribose sugar. Even NADP has ribose sugar. Okay, so NADP, so all this has ribose sugar inside, and that is why this is called pentose phosphate. This pathway supplies pentose phosphate. This is why this is called pentose phosphate pathway. Now, the second terminology here comes hexose monophosphate pathway. You know, hexose monophosphate, not pathway, it is shunt. Shunt means diversion. So we have done glycolysis. Glycolysis is glucose 6-phosphate, conversion of glucose into glucose 6-phosphate, and then fructose 6-phosphate, and then fructose 1,6-bisphosphate, 1,6-bisphosphate, and then like that. So this fructose 1,6-bisphosphate will convert into triose sugar. Okay, triose sugar, 2-triose sugar. Okay, and then 2-triose sugar ultimately convert into pyruvate, like this. So we have seen this. So here what happens is this glucose 6-phosphate, as I have told you in the first in the glycolysis, in the beginning of glycolysis only, this is the common reaction. It elsewhere it is done by hexokinase. In liver it is done by glucokinase. It is the common pathway for 3 pathway. One is glycolysis, other is your glycogen synthesis, glycogenesis, and then third pathway is pentose phosphate pathway. So pentose phosphate pathway. And here pentose phosphate pathway, because it is not direct pathway, you can see why it is called shunt. I will tell you. This is called shunt because this pentose phosphate pathway, let me describe pentose phosphate pathway. Glucose 6-phosphate will now oxidize. Okay, oxidize. There are 2 steps of oxidation. Glucose phosphate will convert to gluconic acid, phosphogluconic acid. Because it is aldehyde, aldose sugar, so acid. As we have seen in glycolysis, glyceraldehyde converts into glyceric acid. The same way this is oxidized, and here you will see NADPH production. DPH production. Again, this will also oxidize, and then it will produce. There will be decarboxylation and oxygen, and then it will produce pentose sugar. Pentose phosphate. So this is diversion, and then what happens is this pentose phosphate can convert into this. Reversible conversion will happen. This pentose phosphate reversibly can convert into this. So you can see two irreversible reaction, and this pentose sugar, this 6 pentose sugar will convert into 5, because 6 has 6 5s are 30 carbon. Here 5 6 are 30 carbon. So this 6 pentose sugar will convert into 5 this, and you can say this is a diversion pathway from glycolysis. Isn't it diversion pathway? So that is why this is called what? Hexose monophosphate. This hexose monophosphate is shunted, and that is why this is called hexose monophosphate shunt. So if you remember two things, the name of pathway, if you can link the name with the pathway name, then you can remember many things. First, this is the source of pentose phosphate, and then this is the source of NADH to produce. This is a shunt in order to produce NADPH. Okay, it is a shunt, and that actually divert from this glucose 6 phosphate and join here fructose 6 phosphate. You can see the one reaction. So this will divert and join here. This is why this is called hexose monophosphate shunt. This is a very, just remember, that is why this is called shunt. Now, where does this pathway happen? This pathway happens where? This pathway happens in adipose tissue. This pathway happens adrenal cortex, mammary gland, gonads, liver, and RBC. Why? The question comes why? Because you can see this adipose tissue is the tissue where you will see there will be synthesis of what? Fatty acid. Fatty acid, remember, I told you fatty acid to remember like a snake. So remember like a, so this fatty acid synthesis, so can you see this? Remember this fatty acid as snake, and you have seen that each bond formation in fatty acid between these two acetyl coenzyme A require 2 NADPH. If you can remember, just understand this. If you don't remember, just understand, memorize right now. Each bond formation will require 2 NADPH. Okay, 2 NADPH. Each bond formation require 2 NADPH during fatty acid synthesis. So if there is 18 carbon, so if it is 18 carbon, 16 carbon palmitic acid, so what will happen? So 16 you divide by 2 minus 1. So bond number of bond will be this. So 7 2 is 14. So 14 NADPH is required for synthesis of 1 palmitic acid. So that is why in adipose tissue palmitic acid is synthesized, and that palmitic acid requires 14 NADPH. So that is, this is NADPH is source of NADPH is pentose phosphate pathway. Therefore, this happens in adipose tissue. Adrenal cortex, you know, adrenal cortex produce which hormone? Steroid hormone, and steroid hormone formed from cholesterol. And you know, cholesterol also, if you can remember, cholesterol is also synthesized from acetyl coenzyme A, and this acetyl coenzyme through various steps, multiple steps of reduction. So reduction is also here, also reduction is done by NADPH. That is why this NADPH is required in adrenal cortex also. Mammary gland, it produces milk, and milk has got this fatty acid, fat inside it. So milk also require this NADPH. And gonads, you know, gonads is very highly dividing cell. And in highly dividing cell, what happens? This require everything, right from lipid for membrane formation. Then it requires DNA and RNA, because DNA, RNA has pentose sugar, and not only pentose sugar, you can see ribose sugar. Ribose, when it converts into deoxyribose. If you remember, I told you deoxyribose. If you remember it, I have told you when it converts into this, so it requires reduction. So reduction is done by ribonucleotide reductase, and it requires NADPH. Indirectly, it requires NADPH. Okay, so this NADPH for reduction of ribose to deoxyribose means it is NADPH is also required for synthesis of DNA. So pentose sugar plus NADPH is required for rapidly dividing cell, like gonads, like the epithelial cell, basal epithelial cell. So they are also rapidly dividing. The bone marrow cell, they require this pentose phosphate pathway. So liver, because liver does many things, detoxification of drugs, lipid synthesis, many things liver does. That is why liver also require NADPH. Detoxification of drugs also. Xenobiotics also. And red blood cell require this NADPH for maintenance of membrane integrity. So these all cells, remember, these all cells require. Why does this adipose tissue require? Because fat synthesis. Adrenal gland, steroid hormone. Mammary gland, again lipid synthesis. Gonads, the very membrane formation, and then DNA, everything that is formed require NADH. Liver, xenobiotics, and the main thing here is xenobiotics. Other thing also will happen inside liver, hepatocyte, but main thing why I'm focusing xenobiotics, I will tell you. And then RBC for membrane protection, for membrane integrity. So it protects, NADPH protects RBC membrane from oxidative damage. So membrane, it protects membrane, so membrane permeability is maintained because of damage to membrane is protected because of NADPH. So these are the places, and these are the places where this pentose phosphate pathway happens, and pentose phosphate pathway happens for a purpose. Okay, there is a purpose. This is a purpose-driven, completely purpose-driven pathway. Okay, so there in this tissue it happens because of some purpose. Why does it happen? So in rapidly dividing cells, for detoxification in liver, for rapidly dividing cell, I told you it supplies pentose sugar, NADPH, and lipid hormone synthesis, these all organs. These are the purpose. Because of that, this pentose phosphate pathway happens. When does it happen? So fast fed cycle is not related that much to this. The main is need driven. This is a need driven pathway. More is the need, more speed the pathway will have. What are the enzyme coenzymes? So you can say niacin, and as you know, NADPH is nothing but niacin. Vitamin B1, transketolase require vitamin B1. So these are the vitamins that are involved in this pathway. How does it happen? So we'll talk about that. It is a need driven pathway, and we will talk about that. How does it happen? So many sugars are present here. You can see list the monosaccharide that participate in pentose phosphate pathway. If you study pentose phosphate pathway, you will study all the monosaccharides that are present in here. So you can see pseudoheptulase 7 carbon. You can see hexose is present here. Glucose and fructose are present involved in this pathway. Now pentose, you can see ribose, ribulose, xylulose. These two are keto sugar. Okay, these two are keto sugar. So understanding of which is keto sugar and which is aldose sugar is important for this pathway. Now erythrose 4 carbon aldose sugar. Through if it would be keto sugar, there would be erythrulose. Okay, because this is keto sugar, you can say ribulose, xylulose. So from name only you can differentiate which is keto sugar, which is aldose sugar. So triose sugar, you can see, you already know glyceraldehyde is triose sugar. So this is all sugar you will see in this path.